Hello there, everybody. Welcome to DragonTaleTarot. My name is Ariel, and this is going to be our Summer Solstice 2020 astrology and tarot reading. It's going to be a big check-in. I try to do these every major season. The last one I did was the spring equinox. So this is going to be the same kind of style where I do an astrology check-in. I'm going to give you some of the big key factors and points of what's going to be going on through our season of summer, which is going to be, this June 20th, 21st, and that's going to go all the way until Libra season when we come into the time of the fall equinox. Isn't that amazing? So, the summer seasons, the summer signs are Cancer, Leo, and Virgo. Those are the signs and the months that we are going to be moving through. Very, very excited. I love doing these. These are very much a collective reading. They're meant for everybody. Definitely in the card reading, sometimes certain signs will come out a lot more than others. And it just gives us something that, sometimes people that are more, have more concentration of those signs in their charts are going to be paying more attention to that. But it's like these are the lessons that we're all meant to learn. When I looked back at my spring equinox reading, I remember that there was Libra and seventh house energy, which is the Libra house. It was all about relationships and partnerships. And I'm like, oh my goodness, spring has been so focused on those things. So these are really very enlightening and very revealing, like overviews for each season. I'm hoping to get back to do the mid-seasons, because these are all the Celtic seasons. I'm going to show you, we're heading back into our Celtic wheel here of the seasons and of the months. And so here we are at Letha summer solstice as we transition from the springtime, which was Aries, Taurus, and Gemini. Now we're going to Cancer, Leo, Virgo, and so we don't hit into fall until Libra season. So Lunasa is the mid-season between, that would be midsummer, right? Between summer and fall. So I may try to do a that midpoint check-in, because I really like those seasons. I haven't gotten to do that. I was hoping to do a Belton one. It just didn't happen, guys. But I will try to get into those mid-seasons, because I really do like celebrating this Celtic wheel. It is so much fun. So guys, let's go ahead and start. I'm going to do a little bit of sound to get us started, just to give us some grounding and clearing. So yeah, let's start with that. We'll do the sun. This is the solar energy, because we are moving into a very solar time. We're getting ready to also celebrate a solar eclipse. So let's go ahead and start with the sun and also the grounding energy of the earth. Alright guys, that's beautiful. It always helps align. I'm a huge fan of the sound therapy and any kind of sound waves that always help. So the first thing we're going to do, I'm going to put timestamps on this, so if you just want to cut right to the card reading, you can do that. But of course, me being an astrologer, I will always point out that you're going to get a lot out of the astrology information too. So guys, here is our wheel. There it is. There's what we're looking at. And there, of course, is the sun and the moon lined up together in the sign of Cancer. That puts us in a very high energy of home, hearth, family, soul's origins and connections. And there we have Mercury moving at 14 degrees Cancer right now in retrograde. We just went into that Mercury retrograde. There's Venus still traveling retrograde in Gemini. That does go direct on the 25th. There we go, further up the wheel. We are getting ready to go into a Neptune retrograde, everybody. That is going to start on this coming Tuesday, so I believe that's the 23rd. And this is going to be about a 5-month retrograde. All of our planets outside the asteroid wheel, asteroid belt, I should say, going past, Mars, which is Jupiter, through Pluto, they all have a retrograde every year that lasts approximately 5 months. So all of those larger planets that are outside, those are the more ascended, more spiritual, psychological, metaphysical planets. They are more, we feel those a little differently than we do our interpersonal ones. Mars, Venus, the Moon, Mercury, those are much closer to us personally. So when Neptune goes retrograde, everybody, that is a huge movement, and I will talk about that a little more. And right now we do, of course, have as well Saturn, Jupiter, and Pluto all still moving direct, moving retrograde, So we're in a huge retrograde time. I will say that about this whole summer season. The next 3 months are huge retrograde months for us, everyone. So I do believe that overall, just looking at the planetary energy, we are going to be looking at quite a lot of retrograde energy, which is to say that we are going back, we are reviewing, we are reflecting, rescheduling, rethinking, revising. All the rewords really do apply during retrogrades, especially right now as we're sitting in a Mercury retrograde while we're doing this reading. Mentally, we go back and we see things differently. That's why, most astrologers are going to tell you that it's not a great time during a Mercury retrograde to start something new. It's not a good time to begin something completely from scratch. It's definitely not a good time to make solid, long-lasting commitments if you can avoid them, like big purchases, buying a house, a car, getting married, getting engaged, having major surgery. If you can plan it to be at some other time, it's always more favored if it's outside of a Mercury retrograde. Taking on a new job, that would be a big one for Mercury retrograde, especially with Mercury being in Cancer, not getting into a new home. That would be a big one during Mercury retrograde in Cancer. But those are all things, and the reason that that is important is because once Mercury goes direct, our mind is thinking very differently. We're seeing things differently. We might go back and go, gosh, I wish I could change. Or the nature of what you started during a Mercury retrograde will change once it goes direct. Like you might take a job that seems perfect during Mercury retrograde. It goes direct and you're going, oh my gosh, this isn't at all what was in the job description, and they're expecting all this stuff from me, and now I'm really not wanting to be here. That kind of thing can happen. So that's where we're really traveling. But once we get out of that Mercury retrograde, in early July, we still have so much retrograde energy to go through, because we'll still have Neptune, Saturn, Jupiter, Pluto. And I'm going to look at my my little guide. Can never go without this little guy. If you're a studying astrologer, I absolutely recommend it. And even if you're not, it's still very helpful. So yeah, after our Mercury goes out, yes, we still have Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune, Pluto, Ceres and Pallas, two of our major asteroids, as well as Chiron, are also all going retrograde through the month of July. So these are big motions, guys. And then Uranus goes retrograde in the middle of August. That is Aquarius's ruler. So by the time, look at the columns that are shaded in are all the planets that are retrograde. This is September. So I would love to tell you that we start to come out of it in September, but we really don't. Saturn does go direct at the very end of September, and by October, as you can see, it's much less shaded in. So we will have a lot more direct motion once we hit, properly into October. But our summer is very much about retrogrades. Neptune being in retrograde is an interesting one. I actually have a wonderful Scorpio client and student of astrology out there, Jacqueline. If you're watching this, you can chime in, post a comment below, because I'm calling you out, my little Scorpio. I know she's like, don't talk to me, don't talk about me. I'm a Scorpio. I'm staying secret. But she was very interested about the Neptune direct, not Neptune direct, but the retrograde, because we were talking about the fact that when Neptune goes retrograde, it's almost like we're pulling back the veil, because Neptune is a very spiritual, metaphysical, magical, glamorous kind of, mystical planet. It rules the sign of Pisces, which gives you a little insight into the personality of Pisces, right? So when Neptune is in, full swing, and it is in the sign of Pisces right now, so it's in its natural sign, it's functioning quite well, but the thing about that is that it does create a lot of fog, mist, smoke and mirrors. It causes us to wear the rose-colored glasses, especially in love. When we're first meeting someone, we think they're perfect, and we don't see any of their flaws, right? So there's a lot of things. It's very musical, it's very creative, it's very imaginative, very dreamy, rules the dream of the realm of the dreams, right? Many people who are born with Pisces influence, I'm one of them, are either into spiritual or musical or creative pursuits. I fit all of the above, guys. I'm a Capricorn, but I'm an honorary Pisces through and through. So I relate to that very strongly. But when Neptune goes retrograde, what do you think happens? All of the magic and the twinkles and the sparkles and the mist and the fog, they sort of get pulled back. And so the thing that really changes, that's actually quite positive, that we do need, is that we get to see sometimes the harsh reality of what we're really looking at and dealing with. It's not so much as we would like to hope it or imagine it to be, it's what's actually truly really there. So the beautiful thing about a Neptune retrograde is that we will be seeing things in an unvarnished, unadulterated state. We will definitely be looking at what's real, what's of lasting value, without all the magic thrown in. Doesn't mean we can't still have magic, but it's a little bit of a reality check. So the next 5 months going forward of Neptune retrograde, they definitely will feel that way, and our summer months are totally included in that. Mars is about to get out of Pisces. It's going to be moving into Aries, which it's its natural sign. So for all my Aries folks out there, people with Aries planets, that's going to be such a boost to your energy. It will also really positively impact Leo, Sagittarius, and by proxy a little bit Aquarius, Gemini, because it's really going to bring the energy up. But I think we will all benefit from it, because when a planet is in its natural sign, it tends to be pretty happy there, and Mars is very well expressed through its own sign. So people will definitely be wanting to get going, but they'll have to be doing a lot of back work because of those retrogrades. So just be patient with the process. We can get a lot done, but just keep in mind that during retrogrades, especially our Mercury retrograde that we're in right now, the best things to do during that time are things that you have done before. If something in the past has been successful for you, do it again. Try it again. Things that need to be wrapped up, old projects that just can't seem to get finished, time to get those done. Back taxes that we needed to process, old, stuff that we just, I meant to clean out that garage, or just whatever it is that it's just been kind of nagging at you and you've been meaning to do it for a while and finish it up or complete a task. Perfect timing to do it during a Mercury retrograde. It is, again, like I said, in the sign of Cancer. We are in that sun of Cancer right now, so there's a lot of energy put into that sign. So again, it's just rethinking things around your home, your family dynamics. For those of you with kids, that can really be rethinking those dynamics as well. Cancer is all about our soul's origins, childhood roots, the way we grew up, the home we grew up in, and how we take that and work with that into what we are creating for our home base now. So those are the things. It could be a very sentimental, very nostalgic retrograde season for a lot of us. So let's go ahead and we're going to get into some cards, guys. This is the interesting part, always getting into these readings for the seasons. I'm bringing out, to start with, my dragons. I'm always so happy to bring my dragon cards out. We're going to get 3 of each because we're going through 3 months of summer. So it's going to be 3 3 3s. just the 3 energy. You can take that as past, present, future. You can take it as, you know, June, July, August, you know, most of September. You can do it however you like it. But this is just going to be for the collective. So first I'm going to start with this. Let's get a blessing and invocation on this. Dear ancestors, angels, spirits, guides, helpers, and healers for the collective. Everybody who watches this or is drawn to watch this, as you are enjoying this reading, I hope you are able to call on whatever your personal guardians, angels, guides, etc. would be. You know, they are absolutely invited to join in this collective reading. I'm asking for healing, love, abundance, all of the things that are for our highest and best to come through this summer season, to be protected. I ask for Archangel Michael to protect everyone in this circle. I ask Archangel Raphael for heart and physical healing for everyone. Please let this be a blessing to all who view it and all who contribute their energy to this collective. So please protect them and me too. Protect all of our energies. Banish anything negative. Protect us from any lower entities or energies out there. And of course, bring through messages for all of our highest goods. Thank you all so much. Ooh, okay, so our dragon family coming up, our dragons for the dragons. We have the earth dragon. Look at that. That is the first one came up. Clears your path and the land around you. This is all about getting stable, getting grounded. Stay grounded, be ready to serve. Stuck energy is clearing and you can move forward in life. So the way to move through some of this really kind of back and forth retrograde energy, guys, is to stay very connected to the earth. Stay grounded, stay centered. I sit here with the carnelian. I've got that as the stone. I'm sitting here with that sitting on my lap because it's a very good grounding stone. This can also be about any kind of work that you may do to help and heal the earth, because of course we are connecting into Mother Earth right now through this. And so, you know, anything that we do to give back to her, to help her and heal her, because she gives us so much. Next, the dragon comes up is the Omega dragon, the Alpha and Omega, beginning and the end, right? Harnesses the divine feminine power. So this is the feminine, you know, sacred divine feminine energy. This is the dragon that rules those. So the intention is to hold your vision and birth the higher consciousness. So again, like we said, with the Mother Earth, with the Gaia energy, that really very much taps into that, where we're really, you know, she's the yin to the yang, right? You know, she's the feminine to the masculine. So we're really working very strongly to balance that dynamic and bring strength and grounding to the feminine energies. And then the last one we pulled is the deep blue dragon. Keeps you safe by clearing your pathway. This is a beautiful energy to call on. Beautiful, wonderful, strong dragon. Trust that you're protected. Walk on a path of light, because this is all about knowing that your path is protected, you are guarded, you are guided divinely throughout this process. So now I'm going to pull from the Druid Animal Oracle. We're going to be kind of pulling into sort of the Celtic traditions, you know, because these are sort of the Celtic traditional seasons, the solstice and all of that, even though they're celebrated in other ones. You know, that kind of Wiccan wheel of the year is a very Celtic Druidic centering. So these are the Druid Animal Oracle. I love these. I've had these cards forever, guys. These are very old, very used and beloved. So let's see which 3 animal guides and spirits are coming through for us for our summer season. Okay. Oh, I like this. Okay, guys. So check it out. Our first card coming up on top of that Earth Dragon On top of that first column, we have the horse. The horse is, again, a very divine feminine energy. She's connected to Epona, the horse goddess, which was always very important in Celtic legend. There is a place there where there is a chalk carving in a hill of Epona. It's ancient, yeah. So very strong, but to me the horse is about movement. It's about freedom. The horse connects very strongly to Gemini energy, so that is a strong connection for all of our Geminis out there. So just pulling that out for you. Now she is the only like real life, real world animal spirit that we have coming through, because our next animal spirit that came through was the Earth Dragon. Check it out. So we have a lot of dragons coming through for us. The Earth Dragon connected to the Omega Dragon. We also had the Earth Dragon from the Oracle deck coming through. So we've had 2 Earth Dragons from 2 different decks coming through. That to me is very strong. This is about really taking care of the planet, guys. This is all about responsibility. We do have Saturn going back into those last few degrees of Capricorn through this summertime, and that's going to last with us through the autumn. So to me, Capricorn energy and Saturn is all about responsibility. It's earth energy too. Capricorn is the oldest earth sign. The Earth Dragon is definitely an old earth spirit, right? So to me, this is about really connecting in to your grounding center, getting very stable, very strong, remembering where your true treasure is, right? Because those dragons like to guard the treasure, don't you? Yes, we do. So here we go. Over top of the deep blue dragon, we have the dragon of air. So very strongly calling out for, with the earth energy, for Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. For the air dragon, we're getting a lot of strong energy of Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Our earth and air signs are really being called on right now with these animal spirits very strongly. Not to say that if you're a water or fire sign that you're not being called on, but there's a lot of energy at play here. And I would say that a lot of that has to do with Saturn going in between, an air sign and an earth sign right now. It's really doing a big job on all of the air and earth signs. So it's not surprising that they're kind of being called on for extra healing, extra work, extra effort, on behalf of all these things. And the air dragon is all about, it's like almost like the Ace of Swords in the tarot. It's all about clearing the consciousness, all about raising the vibration of the mental body and really being mentally clear, having that ultimate clarity, decisiveness, understanding. So let's pull some cards. I'm just going to pull 3 from the Witch's Wisdom. These are all beautiful Wiccan-based oracle cards. So we're just going to see what comes out on top of all these for this summer season. I like that. Oh, yes. Ooh, okay. This is really beautifully tapping into all of this. So first card we got was Ostara. Absolutely awesome, because that, of course, is, I'm just looking over here. Yes, that's the spring equinox. Just looking at my wheel. I was going to say this is springtime. So this is the completion, of really, getting close in, tucking in. It's like there's that egg of incubation, waiting for the life to be born. And so as we go into summer, that is the time of, full vibrant life, flourishing and flowing and flowering. So we're coming out of that time of spring, many things that were planted, many things that have been, people putting their intentions out there, putting their desires to go forward. As we go through the next phase, we brought up the Athame, and the Athame is the element of air. So again, my air signs, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, you guys are being very, very called on here with this energy, because, you know, to me, that is our air energy. When we look at the 4 suits of the tarot, the swords is one of them, and that is representing the air signs. And so this is about boundaries. This is about intention and direction. You know, not allowing people to mistreat you. Really setting up yourself to say, you know, I am worth it. I am not, you know, going to play around with people who are reckless with my heart. So to me, you know, it's like the Athame is grounded in earth, but it is very much the air sign. And then the next card we pulled out here is the Witch's Cottage, and it represents security. This feels, again, very earthy, very warm, very grounded. There's also that element of fire, though, here, you know, with the home and the hearth. And I like the fact that we're doing this reading in the time of Cancer, because it's all about the home and hearth. So there is a definite drive and need throughout this summer season for security, for comfort, for coziness, for pulling closer to our friends, family, and loved ones. And yes, there's our little black cat sitting there. So we do have some magic in the mix as well. So y'all, let's go ahead. I'm going to pull from the astrology reading cards. We're going to do a planet, a zodiac sign, and a house. These are always very, very interesting, because this is just going to ask the question of what sign, what planet, and what area these are going to play out with. What's the strongest? What is what we're supposed to be focusing on the most? What are the energies? You know, and these can be pulled in for anyone, because y'all, we all have all 12 signs represented in each of our personal charts. Even if we don't have planets there in those signs, we still have those signs. And when the planets are in those signs, they move across through our wheel. So it's all important. It all integrates. So first we're starting with the planet. That would be, you know, any of our planets. What is the most active and at play? What is the big focus that's going to be coming through for our summer season? Interesting. Our main planet is Vesta. Vesta is a large asteroid in the cycle that actually represents cleansing, purification. She reminds me a little bit of Virgo's energy. You could almost describe this one to Virgo. Virgo is ruled by Mercury, but I'd kick in a little energy of Vesta, because this is the goddess within, the sacred spiritual center, quiet dignity. It's purification, it's detox, it's, you know, clearing the decks for new action. Interesting how much goddess energy we're bringing up around this summer solstice, because that's what's already kind of coming in. This is really incredible. So let's go ahead and see what zodiac sign is going to be most at play for us through this summertime. Ooh, there's our sign. And I knew I could feel some Aries out there, because Mars is about to move into the sign of Aries. So Aries is going to be actually very important. This is about not only, of course, our Aries folks out there, which big shout out to you all. You are awesome. But if you have planets in the sign of Aries, and wherever Aries is placed in your chart, that is where Mars will be moving for the next 6 weeks or so. So just keep that one in mind. The energy around you is dynamic, spontaneous, crusading, impulsive action. So that's a big thing through the summer. Reining in our impulsive actions, making sure that we take action not out of like anger or ego or arrogance. It's really to come from a place of pure action. And not all anger is a negative thing. Maya Angelou, one of my favorite writers, amazing Maya, she was an Aries. And one of my favorite quotes from her, she said that resentment or holding a grudge, that just eats up the host. That will eat you alive. but anger, I know I'm not quoting it perfectly, but she said, but true anger, righteous anger, it burns everything clean. It clears out what needs to be cleansed. And so, you know, with Vesta, which is, you know, has that fire, you know, even her symbol has a little bit of that fire, right? And it's kind of like using our passion, our righteous anger or indignation to make positive changes, to let go of things that have been hurting us. That's very, very positive. Aries is also about loving yourself. It's healthy self-love, healthy care for yourself. Very, very strong. I love that coming through. It's the warrior energy. It's the emperor in the tarot, right? You know, it's the fighter, right? Fights for what it believes in. Could be a very dynamic summertime indeed with Aries on the horizon. So now let's pick out a card for the house. The house in the zodiac is where the action is happening. The planet is what's happening. The sign it's in is how it's acting. The house it's in is where it's acting. So let's see which area, what stage are we going to be playing on for this summertime primarily. Let's see what comes up. Woo! These are wanting to flip. I gotta be careful hanging on to them. All right, there we go. Ooh, fiery too. So, Leo in the house. Leo house is the fifth house, fifth sign, where you have fun, romance, and create things you are proud of. So, guys, this is beautiful. Vesta is, you know, centering us in our spiritual goddess energy inside. Aries is our divine masculine, bringing through that warrior energy. And then the fifth house, we got a little fun, a little spark, a little creativity, a little romance. So we are working things out in the area of the heart. Leo rules the heart, rules creativity. It definitely rules the romance and how we give from the heart. So I would say for a lot of us, we are going to have some good summer romance. Let's hope that's a good portent right there. So let's get some tarot on this just to round out this summertime reading. This has been super fun. Just get a little bit more message on this before we close up. Well. Okay. This is perfect. I mean, like, okay, so right on top of Ostara, the horse goddess, the earth dragon, Vesta, we have the high priestess. It does not get more goddess energy than this. There is our moon. There is that Cancer energy. There is the sacred mysteries. You know, that's, I think, how we really are starting out our summertime. We are thinking about, you know, we're kind of doing a lot of reflecting. We're really going deeply within here, everyone. I can certainly feel that. There's action that's on the way. You know, it's like things are kind of percolating, and a lot of us are really like literally chomping at the bit like a horse. It's like we want to go, we run a run. But there are some hurdles we have to get through first, and part of what we need to do is reflect. It's, you know, like I said, all those rewords about the retrogrades, you know, go within, turn within, feel things out, cleanse our energy, cleanse our environment. So important there. And clarifying our high priestess is the Page of Pentacles. So indeed, there are new projects going to be planted at this time. So this first month of summer is all about reflection. It's more about incubation, right? With that Ostara energy, we're coming out of spring, going to summer. So that Page of Pentacles is really about having a new plan, having something you want to invest in, saying, I know that there's something on the horizon that's really going to pay off if I start to invest in it now. So any work that you do at the beginning of summer, has a good chance of continuing on after the summer is through. So second card out is our Judgment on top of Aries, the Athame, our Earth Dragon. Oh my goodness. So to me, that is some energy of resurrection for anybody who's especially like, you know, for relationship. Oh my goodness, this could be a very powerful time. That would be kind of getting into that second month of summer, you know, going into Leo time. It's like there could be a whole lot of shaking going on with a lot of people coming back into your life, reconciliations, resurrections, old elements of your life being completely rebirthed and renewed. That's very powerful. That's Scorpio energy. Ooh, and it is Scorpio energy. Look at what just came up on top of that. Unbelievable. All right, just as I was saying, Scorpio, the death card's like, hey, hey, I'm here. So yes, the Judgment card is our Pluto card and the Death card is our Scorpio card. So I would absolutely say this is absolute confirmation that yes, there will be resurrection, rebirth, things that are truly meant to go away, I think will go away, because death is about letting go of things that really don't need to be there anymore. And then, you know, the things that are meant to stay with us, the things that are meant to heal and come back in will. Because to me, I feel always that the Judgment and death are very linked. You know, it's like Judgment's the higher vibration of death, right? The death is the death. It's the, you know, the loss and the letting go, you know, the transition, transformation. But then it's like the phoenix rises from the ashes. And there you go. There's our Judgment card. So very powerful. The combination of Aries and Scorpio energy, like I'm going to tell you, that's powerful. The reason that Scorpio and Aries are linked, y'all, if you don't know, is because in the old days, before the discovery of Pluto, because he's way out there, you know, they couldn't see him. They couldn't see Pluto all the way back in the early days of astrology. So the planet Mars, which rules Aries, was considered the ruler of both Aries and Scorpio. So there is always this old connection between Aries and Scorpio energy. So they both have a lot of that firepower. They do. And Scorpio is the most powerful sign of the zodiac, y'all. Like it or not, they are. So this, to me, when you get some Aries energy, some Scorpio energy, we're going to have some intensity going on. It will calm down. It will calm down. But I feel that the middle of the summer, like July, early August, that's going to be like, get your fan out, right? It's going to be hot. That's going to be some hot times. Then going into the last month and kind of the later phase of summer, you know, on top of that air dragon, the witch's cottage, the fifth house of Leo, the romance, we do have that lovely, slow but steady Knight of Pentacles. So to me, that's really moving things forward in a solid, stable direction. You know, things start to calm down a little bit after all of that, that amazing fire action. So let's see what clarifies this Knight of Pentacles. You know, he is the knight that usually gets to his destination. He may take a longer time. He might have to work some things out. He definitely sometimes procrastinates a little bit. Sometimes he gets a little stuck, but he always gets moving again. This is Earth energy. It's Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. So let's see what comes up on top of him. Oh my goodness, y'all. And we have the moon. So there's still a little mystery in the air. I'm telling you, this summer, there is all that retrograde. There's our Pisces energy there, you know. It's also about Neptune moving around doing its thing. So sometimes the destination may seem a little unclear. So take your time. That is what I would say. Take your time. Do the work that you need to do along the way. And look at things from both sides, because the moonlight, it makes things look different, right? That's why there's a connection with the moon and deception, is because things look different under the light of the moon than they do look under the light of the day. Hopefully what we're going to get with that Neptune retrograde, though, is we will see through that moonlight. We will be able to see very clearly what's coming up on top of that. Underneath, guys, we have the Seven of Pentacles on this deck. So to me, again, there is a lot of patience. Look at this. Three of Swords on the other one. Oh my gosh. We're going to just shake this one on out. We're going to sage this card. We don't want no heartbreaks. If we want anything to happen with our heartbreaks, what we want is to say that we will have, you know, an end to those things. So let's go ahead and sage that card, and we're going to pull the Ramblin' Mike move here. Check out our friend Ramblin' Mike's tarot if you have not yet. He's awesome. He has shouted out my channel before. He's a total sweetheart. That this is what he does when he gets a Three of Swords. Out, out, out. Get out of our heart. We are not putting up with any swords this summer season. And if there are any Three of Swords on the horizon, let it be heart healing. Let it be one of, you know, moving on past things that have been hurtful to our hearts, not things that are going to continue. So guys, this was a beautiful, beautiful read for the summer solstice. I hope you absolutely have a blessed, beautiful, beautiful season, and I will be seeing you very soon. Take care.